This is my first time on this new software here. So I've got some music going. Woohoo! You're back. To you, me, and the New York P. Get it going. I haven't done this one for a couple weeks. So we'll get back to that. You'll have to forgive me. I'm going to let the music go here for just a second. I'm going to dance. Woo! I got to type a response to a work thing over here. It's real sweet too, huh? Just let that music wash over you real quick, though. I hope you can feel it, or hope you can hear it and feel it. Oh, there it goes. It's fading out. How lovely is that? All right, yeah. Thanks. Welcome back to you, me, and the New York P here. We haven't done this in a couple weeks, like I mentioned. So this is a pretty simple concept. What we're going to do here, and I'll get the new screen share up. It's my first time working through this StreamYard thing. I'd been using the OBS Restream. Hey, there we go. There's the comments coming through. Woo-woo. Optimizing while streaming. A man of many talents. Yeah. I'm mainly just responding to Slack messages about stuff that I probably didn't do 2 weeks ago that I was supposed to do or that I assigned out and didn't get done. I am not joining Kevio at noon. Thank you, Rodeo MT52. I will try to be quick. Again, I was on with KT the other day with Skin, so I'm sure I'll join him again in the future to finish up that top 50 that we had left there. That was a very fun time. So if you didn't catch that, I think it was called Let's Band Together on the youtube.com at KT Fun Tweets channel there. So go check that out. But today, you're in for a treat because if you're not here for me, I think you're probably here for the P. And that's what we do here is we go through the New York Post's wild ass headlines that they roll out every week. And some of them are unique to them. Some of them are not. I will tell you that. There's one in here, specifically Wheel of Fortune, that really exploded last night. And so when I did see this Wheel of Fortune clip going around and I heard some of the audio, I said, you know what? I have to get in there. And yes, Texas Carter is only here for the P. And that's the beauty of this segment is I wouldn't show up for me either. Me solo is not a great act. That's the thing. I've watched it back. I'm like, I wouldn't tune into this myself. That guy needs either a team of writers or he's going to need some P to go off of. So I think the headlines are going to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. I'll try to interject where I can. I have prepared very little. That's the other thing I love about this segment is that most of the preparation is me just looking for the headlines. I've only clicked into one of them, being the Wheel of Fortune one. Beyond that, yeah, I've seen a photo from one of those. Can't post comments to some destinations. Learn more. Oh, I don't care. I guess it's telling me I can't post comments somewhere. I don't care. I can see all of you all's comments. That's great. I'll talk back to you. That's my talk back feature. All right, so let's get right to it. I gave my wife a champagne shower at our wedding. Haters say I ruined our $200,000 ceremony, but I know she loved it. All right, real quick. $200,000 on the ceremony, probably completely unnecessary. There are members of my family that I did not invite to our wedding and reception, and I regret nothing. I'm fine with that. And that's not because we had like a bad relationship or anything like that. It was just, I'm not going to spend $200,000 on a wedding ceremony. And you have to pay for all those people. You got to feed them. You got to give them dessert. And you have to give them some kind of like decent level protein or something like that because they're coming to your wedding and they're coming to your reception. And there's a rehearsal dinner. Don't get me started on all that noise. So right out the gate, $200,000 ceremony. I'm already against this guy. Also, the word haters, I think it's probably just people online. Like, haters is a real weird term. So I don't know who the haters are, if that's like people in his friend group or what. All right, so let's get right to this one. Like I said, I have not read much about it. So, party foul. That's the beauty of the New York Post. Oh, sorry, I have to rate the headline. Before I go, I think this story is going to be pretty crappy. I think it's going to come in at about a 64. All right, so that's right in the middle there. It's a scale 100 here. So, party foul is what it says here. An overenthusiastic groom came under fire after opening a magnum of champagne. So that's those big honkers. Those are the only kind I can drink personally. I can't even hold the regular champagne bottles anymore. They make my hands feel too small almost. It's like I need the Magnum so that it feels like a normal size bottle for me. So I get it. So this overenthusiastic groom came under fire after opening a magnum of champagne and bathing his blushing bride in a seemingly unexpected barrage of bubbly, an act that many critics felt ruined an otherwise gorgeous wedding. All right, a beautiful wedding, interrupted here by what they're saying is an overenthusiastic groom. Onlookers at the celebration of love held at an exclusive resort on Italy's Lake Como. Oh snap! I think KT was supposed to go to Lake Como. I don't know if he ever got to go to old Lake Como, but I think he was supposed to stop there. Maybe his delayed flight and his shark identification pamphlet would tell me more, or maybe those derailed him a little bit. I don't know that he made it to Lake Como. Maybe not, though. Anyway, so that's probably where the $200,000 ceremony came into play. If you're paying for people to go to a exclusive destination, it's going to cost some money. So people apparently shouted in horror as the woman's wedding dress quickly became soaked. Wet dress contest, know what I'm saying? So she turned away to minimize some damage, spitting the shock sparkles from her mouth. Excuse me? Spitting the shock sparkles is a new term I might be incorporating into my certainly not daily life. I'm not that lucky by any means. But spitting the shock sparkles from her mouth. That's romantic, isn't it? Okay. So, apparently they're from Houston, Texas. Yeah. The venue alone costs up to $227,000 to buy out. What? All right. So already this story's terrible. It sounds like basically, all right, yeah, I can see a video of this dude. I mean, that's not even that big of a bath. I think I can show the video real quick. I don't know that I'll get dinged for showing a TikTok video here. I mean, she's all over it. How do I rewind a TikTok video? Yeah, no one could ever know. I could never know. Not even a little bit. Okay, yeah, there we go. I think maybe that'll show it. Oh, no, see, that's the thing. I don't want to show people's dumb ads. You stupid website. How dare you? Anyway, so basically this chick just gets soaked in the champagne. That's pretty much all there is to this story. I don't know who the haters were. It's probably people there who shouted on in horror. This story was let down like I thought. 11. Terrible story. All right, moving on. McDonald's burger from 1995 is perfectly intact. I'm going to tell you, it would be cooler. Hold your finger at the bottom. That's good. That's good advice for any situation, Tommy G. Holding your finger at the bottom is oftentimes what your partner wants more, is what I would say. Less so than getting into the nitty gritty details here, but I'll say just hold it down there. See what they want to do. Just let it happen is good advice, is what I'll say for either party. This is not applying to any one gender, either party. What is it there? Put your finger at the bottom. Hold your finger on the bottom. Hold your finger on the bottom. Great advice. All right, now moving on. This McDonald's burger from 1995 is perfectly intact, and even rats won't eat it. Well, where are the rats from? It's the first thing I want to ask. These might be some snooty, high-class rats that just don't want good food like 1990s era McDonald's. Because if we're talking 1995, that's pretty damn close to Batman Forever era. And so in that time frame, they were definitely offering a hero burger that I think was like 3 burgers stacked on top of each other. And it was incredible. I think I could only convince my mom to get it for me maybe 3 to 4 times. And I don't remember if I ever saved any of those I don't know if I ever got any of those collector cups. But if I did, I feel like I would have saved them. I don't know. I don't think I could ever convince her to get me those. But 1990s era burger, I might buy it on eBay just to see what it looks like up close and personal. I can show you here quickly what it looks like. Since it's perfectly intact, it looks like any other McDonald's hamburger. So nothing too fancy there. It looks like a burger. Okay, so Old McDonald's is the first line. Great writing from the New York Post. That's one of the things I applaud them for. I think they have brilliant writers. Even when they're not writing high art, I think they're really putting some effort into it. Old McDonald's. Pretty solid. It was right there. I mean, you had to take the shot. So McDonald's has notably produced some seemingly decomposition-defying burgers in the past. However, none compare to a seemingly immortal quarter pounder in Australia that has never shown signs of decay. Okay, so it might be like Aussie-specific prison ingredients that we're rocking with here. Okay, so Australian pals Casey Dean and Edwards Nits. Interesting last name. I don't know anybody with the last name Nits, Nits, claimed that they ordered the QPC, the quarter pounder with cheese, back in 1995, back in the Clinton era, is what it says here, uh, from a McDonald's in Adelaide, Australia, when they were teenagers. All right, all right. And then I guess they accidentally left it in a shed, is what it says here. It says spent 30 years inside a stuffy shed where the mercury frequently eclipses 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so basically just a hot shed. Hey, lots of good steamy action can happen in a hot shed. Sometimes you can find those old wood ones too. You can get some good splinters in there. Find some really cool spiders and snakes. But nowadays, I think they sell all those like weird, like I don't even know what material is. It looks like that like hard rubber plastic stuff. I think you can buy them in front of a Home Depot almost. They sell like whole sheds for I don't know $2,000 or something. I don't know how much is a she shed. I remember that being a thing a few years back. It's like the man cave. But apparently, so some rats got into this shed and they had eaten everything else. They'd eaten clothes. They'd eaten some plastic bags around it, but they did not eat the burger. And I guess now these guys are gonna keep the burger, and it's tough to prove. Apparently, some skeptics question the claim that it's the world's oldest. But yeah, it's still disputed. I guess some people, I don't know how you prove this. I don't know if you can carbon date something only back to 1995. I mean, he says the packaging he's got is from the 90s, but dating artificial meat, if that's what it is. I mean, I don't know what the quarter pounder with cheese was in 1995. I can tell you it was damn delicious. I can tell you that. I can tell you it went in my stomach, along with a lot of other McDonald's back in 1995. It's an incredible era for McDonald's, in my opinion. So, all right. I did not rate this story based on the headline alone. So that means it was a 50 going in. I think based on the story there, which was pretty much exactly what the headline sounded like, I'm going to lower it down to a 44. That was not a great story at all. It was just the fact that a McDonald's burger had been around. But it's peak New York Post, the fact that they're happy to write about a burger that's been around for 30 years, and that's it. Oh, we got some more people in the comments there. Hey, how's it going, Protege and Keaton? What up, cats? Thanks for joining me. Yes. As you'll notice, I am broadcasting alone. And hey, it's fine. I'm not that great. If you're not here for me, stay for the P. These stories, even though we've had a couple of duds, stinkers off the top here, it's going to get saucier. I can tell you that. It's going to get saucier for sure, all right? So let's get on to some saucier stuff here. Sailors, firemen, and cops, oh my. It's prime time for New York City women looking to date a man in uniform. All right. That's right. So men in uniform, sailors, firemen, and cops. There are other people who wear uniforms, like all those guys at In-N-Out Burger. Technically, they're wearing those little trainee uniforms. That's got to be hot to somebody. Either, women that are coming through and just grabbing a milkshake and say, "Hey, buddy, what's going on? I like a man in uniform." And it's similar to a sailor's outfit. So I don't know if this is specifically about the profession having some power associated with it. So prime time for New York City women looking to date a man in uniform. I'm going to say this story is going to be about a 68 based on my experience with the New York Post. But you never know. We may see some spicy ladies in here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, prime time. All right. Yep, there's some spicy women. All right, let's see what we got here. There's just something about a man in uniform. Ha ha ha. Of course. So no good pun there. They basically just took a little softball and just said, all right, let's do that. Something about a man in uniform. Single women in New York City are marching to dating events featuring first responders as they ditch dating apps. I think we got another one about ditching dating apps. So for a specific type of man to be their co-captain. Okay, so women looking for a different caliber of guy. I guess that's their pun right there for, officers, I suppose. Because yeah, they're hosting dating events around the Fleet Week Bash. So these are those dirty sailors that go from port to port and just knock up these New York City women with all the herp and chlamydia and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's what's happening here. I don't know about the firemen and cops. It seems like they're accessible at all points in time. Okay, so it seems like they've got a couple different events. There's a Rescue Me dating event, which welcomes ladies to flirt exclusively with men who are firefighters, paramedics, and EMT or police. Okay, so it's basically just these women show up and a bunch of like blue blood Tom Selleck dudes take a run at them. I get it. A lot of the women are in their 30s. Yeah, 36, 39. It's a bit refreshing to have somebody be on a wavelength when you get to talk to them. Okay, I guess you just know their profession. You know where they go all day, I guess. I mean, not cops, but the firemen. I mean, you'll know when something's on fire, is what I'd imagine. You can say, "Oh, hey, there's a fire over there. I guess that's where my husband is right now." So I guess you've got that going for you. They get to be in those cool hunky calendars, which I think are making a comeback. No pun intended. I think the calendars are going to start coming back. I think print media, I think hunky calendars, I think babelicious calendars with women who are curvaceous, I would say, of all shapes and sizes. I think that's going to be a thing again. So look out. I think invest in your scholastics, your calendar companies out there that you might know that are still printing calendars. Go look them up, invest in those guys. I think hunky calendars are going to come back. Oops, sorry, scrolling on the wrong screen over here. It's not just fantasy. Uniform men are typically social, domesticated, clean, well-mannered, and athletic, and have a confirmed steady job. Okay, sure. You want to say that every one of them's athletic? I'll give you that on the firefighter force. I'll give you that on some of the other forces. I've seen some New York police shows like Blue Bloods, like NYPD Blue. No offense to Dennis Franz. Those guys didn't look to be too athletic. Those dudes looked to be a little, in Franz's case, I would say wasn't in the best shape of his life. So I'd say police officers, if you're like a patrol officer, sure, you're going to be in great shape. But I don't know that every detective out there, every old commissioner chief type kind of guy is in the best of shape athletically. Confirmed steady job. That's true. A lot of those jobs do contain some inherent danger to them. And the sailor, he's probably going to be either on a ship with a bunch of dudes, which could lead to all kinds of fun stuff, or he's going to be going to port there and knocking up all kinds of other ladies, because I think that's what they do. That's just what I've heard. I don't know any sailors. So, I mean, great story. I'm glad that New York City women are hooking up with those sailors there. More power to them. Great for them. That's it. If I was a sailor and I was coming into port, this is the exact kind of story I would want to see, is know that they're setting up events. And same thing here. I can see kind of some of the photos, and yeah, the dudes look jacked. So the firemen are jacked. The women look all into it. And yeah, it looks a little older. It looks like it's late 30s, early 40s. Yeah, all right. And yeah, dating apps going down on the trends. Okay, hold on. I mean, Fleet Week seems like it could get out of control based on some of these photos I'm looking at here just right now. So all I'm going to say is that this situation could get a little sticky. Okay, let's move on to our next story after we rate this thing here. We're going to rate it down about, you know what? I'm going to keep it in the 60s. I think that only is going to slide 1 point. I think it's going to be a 67 there. All right. Okay, this is where it's going to get a little saucy. I have not read this one. We're going to learn some truths together here. Takes Carter Skin Boy Steve, look up "you're great" in the dictionary. Thank you. All right. I wrote self-love because it felt uncomfortable to me to write the restoration word on the screen for this long. Since this is a format where I'm going to show you all the stories up front here, some words have to be up there a bunch. So I left orgy in there. That one's in there. Or jasm. Does that make it better with the J sound? Sometimes you try to flip up the word pronunciations or sounds to make it a little bit better. I don't know that I did that one many favors. So we're going to talk about the scary self-love truth that men need to know. I too don't know it. So this is me going in blind here. If you see me get scared, it's a real, honest reaction. Oh, God. While many lifestyle factors and health conditions have been linked to an increased chance of erectile dysfunction, one misguided theory is still attributed to male impotence. The inability to obtain or maintain an erection during sex, officially known as erectile dysfunction, affects around 30 million men in the U.S. All right, I have not rated this headline. I can already tell this is probably going to be a great headline. That's going to be a real stinker of a letdown. This sounds like it's going to be an advertisement for something. All right, while age is often the primary factor in developing the condition known as ED, many men will experience some degree of impotence throughout their life. It's impossible. And while there's plenty in the ways of solutions on offer, from natural supplements and pharmaceutical concoctions to pointed lifestyle changes, the possible causes of ED are abundant. So that means everything. All right, so, but is the frequency and vigor of the act one of them? Okay, so this theory is positing. So right now, the question posited is the frequency of this self-love activity, and the word here is vigor of the masturbation. So you got to be really giving it to yourself here. Is that one of the causes of ED? The short answer, no. ED is not caused by doing it too much or too little, or too hard. I guess vigor is a tricky word. Um, Apparently, yeah, the logic behind that just doesn't check out. On a similar train of thought, it's widely believed that watching an excessive amount of porno will also hinder a man's ED. After completing some of that porno watching, apparently there's a natural period of resistance from the body, making it difficult to muster any activity quickly after. Again, unfamiliar with any of these things. While there's no universal time frame involved, men can take anywhere between a few minutes to an entire day before they can experience any kind of arousal again. Yeah, this has never happened to me. I'm alarmed at this article here. I feel like they're missing out on something. Also, the photos are incredible. It's a bunch of just laptops on dudes' laps with their hands down them in a real like I feel bad for whoever had to shoot these photos. So apparently, because of this, many believe that doing it too much can incrementally increase the state of being, unaroused. So apparently, that's not it. Apparently, what's the one scary truth? Health benefits. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to get to the scary self-love truth. Common causes. While it would be simple to blame impotence on one problematic and hopefully curable thing, I think I'm getting to it. The majority of ED cases are usually caused by a combo of factors. I think that's the scary truth, is that there's no silver bullet, which is a great product that women love, by the way. Use the silver bullet on them. But I think that's what it's getting at here, is that it's going to be a mix of physical, psychological, and lifestyle indicators. Sorry, lifestyle. So yeah, you could be taking weird meds. You could be going through some weird stuff at work. See, what a stinker of an article. So I think it's going to come down and basically be like, you know what? Oh, okay. There's probably some pills for that. I don't see that link specifically, but it does state here that there are some health benefits of doing this to yourself. Plenty known benefits with the act, this vile act that I've never engaged in. That's why I know nothing about this particular article. Is me myself never had to. For starters, engaging in a healthy amount of self-love can destigmatize shame. Well, that's good. Yeah, just do it all the time. Just don't Louis C.K. a couple people, and you should be all good. But apparently, it's good for helping people explore their body. So that's good. Go out there and explore. Studies have also shown it to be helpful in facilitating good quality sleep, as well as a person's ability to fall asleep quickly. I have no familiarity with that. I cannot speak to that point specifically in any way, shape, or form. That and the opposite of that, waking up, certainly never had any benefits like that associated. Never at all. All right. Well, this was a letdown of an article, much like my love life for my wife, I'm sure. So I'm going to give it a 41. All right. All right. I went to my first orgy at 49. Here's what happened. Love this headline. This is a 92 level headline. You will get my attention every time when you say, hey, I'm a 50-year-old attending some orgs. So here we go. I went to my first orgy at 49. Here's what happened. Curious about her sexuality post-divorce, editor Lucy Rober attended her first sex party, not really knowing what to expect. Well, I would expect a sex party is what I would expect. I guess maybe she didn't know if there was going to be like food there. I don't know if they do past sushi or past hors d'oeuvres or anything like that, or if it's just like day-old bread and donuts from the morning, or if it's like craft services where you get like a little cheese sandwich tray. You can be like, hey, make yourself a cheese sandwich. So maybe it's that. Anyway, so it was only as the taxi turned into the long drive that I realized how nervous I was. So I guess I'm speaking here as Lucy Rober. Sorry, first person article. Having an old girlfriend from school by my side was comforting. It's pretty hot already. But the night seemed to stretch out endlessly on either side of the road. In the distance, I saw the great pale mansion illuminated as car headlights swung around and deposited passengers. Aged 48. What a liar. I was about to arrive at my first orgy. Well, is she 49 or 48? The headline said 49. She said aged 48. If she turned around and went back a year later, I'm going to be upset. Let me read on here. All right. As the new editor of magazine Erotic Review, which I've just relaunched as a magazine after 14 years off the presses, I'm invited to all manner of book launches and gallery openings. Yep. I certainly bet she's seen a lot of openings as the editor of Erotic Review. I say yes to only a handful. Gross. But the invitation to a Killing Kittens party was too intriguing to refuse. I mean, if that's a euphemism for what I think it is, hats off to the writers. It is provocative. This hedonistic members-only organization, which was founded in 2005, hosts up to 3 gatherings a month. Yikes. Man, good for them. With additional soirees overseas. On this particular night, I was going to the Country Mansion, a masked black tie sex party for over 800 people. The smell of 800 people getting it going. Sweet Moses, that's got to be terrifying. I mean, no offense. Like, 800 people just hanging out is a bad smell in a mansion, I'd imagine. Stripping down. Let me read on. I don't want to think about the smells too much because it's going to take me down a dark road. I can imagine people getting so sweaty that they're slipping and sliding all down those mansionist stairs. So I'm sure the estate was lovely at one point. I hope it's all tile. I hope they have a great cleaning crew with a lot of bleach. But yeah, 800 people. Like, I would think maybe like 6 to 10. I don't know what a sex party includes. I've never been around that scene, but 800. Woo! Okay. I've heard London is fast becoming the sex party capital of the world, and throughout the city you can find anything from fetish techno nights to feral dreamscapes. Okay. So she's been doing this for 30 years. Divorced mother of 3 teenagers in her late 40s. I'm open and curious about myself. Yeah. Beyond the parameters of a 16-year heterosexual monogamous marriage. So this is every guy's fear, right? Or maybe not. I'm like, I certainly don't want to get a few more years into my marriage. I'm at 11 years right now. Just celebrated 11 years married. 5 years from now, my wife just starts going full org. You're like, oh, gosh. So people have been going to orgies for millennia. So perhaps I might love it. Yet as the taxi pulled up outside the stately estate, I realized that I was nervous. Okay, yeah, great. So outside people sat in groups, started smoking cigarettes. They asked if the two women were a couple. They said they were friends from school. I want to be the first in queue for a dominatrix. Sorry, I'm trying to read quickly here. This is a very long article. Crowd seemed limited. They could be talking about mortgages. So it seems like okay. Okay. So it seems like what she noticed was that a lot of the couples showed up as couples and mainly just hooked up with each other. So a lot of people just kind of went to watch. So it seems like a lot of people just started hooking up in separate rooms. She walked around and kind of just watched a bunch of random stuff. Uh yeah, there's a dance party. So I guess there's like a DJ area. Then they went upstairs. Yeah. Okay, yeah, 2 to 3 people hooking up there. A lot of people okay, there were people just simply standing around naked. That sounds like the worst way to go to a sex party is you just go in there and just stand around awkwardly. Like, you don't really have anyone to talk to because that's kind of my fear when I go to bars without a wingman or something like that. Not that I'm picking up people, but like you want to have at least some kind of baseline. Just hey, let me lean on you. Let's just go together so we could talk to somebody here. Let's at least go to a trivia night or something. But I don't want to go stand around naked by myself and just be like, hey, what's going on? And like you try to hook up with people that are like a married couple that are really just into it for the voyeuristic stuff. Like, can you imagine getting turned down at a sex party? You went there for the sex, and people are like, I'm all right. I'm really more here for just a one-on-one kind of deal. So this sounds like a self-esteem killer. So yeah, seems like that's basically what she said. It seemed that once on the bed, you could turn to one side and join in with other people's stuff. So okay, uh huh. So yeah, if people are hanging out on a bed, it seems like you could just like hop on a side and like as the night progressed, the beds became so crowded with flesh you could no longer see the red sheets, just body parts moving, heaving, pumping, punctuating. Oh gosh, where's my sound? Lots of punctuating here. Yeah, there he goes. So she'd kept my clothes, or I'd kept my clothes on all night, and as men couldn't proposition, I didn't have to have any awkward conversations. So okay, so it seems like you've got to be naked for anybody to try to hook up with you. So if you got your clothes on, that means you're just like looking around and stuff like that. So okay, so yeah, 49-year-old woman went to an org for her magazine job. All right, great headline. It was fun to say pumping and heaving and play the turtle sound. Give me that again. I'm going to put it at a 74 because at least we got to talk about 49-year-old women going to orgies. Yeah, exactly. Excuse me, could I hang my hat in here? That's the awkward small talk at these things. Like, I just don't know the crowd. Like, if it's a bunch of super hotties and it's all like 35 to 27 and you're in that range too, great. If it's 50 and up, like, I mean, again, this one's 49, so I'm assuming it's a relatively older crowd. No thanks. Like, I don't want to jump in to anybody's happenings with any consent. I mean, there's not enough sanitizer in the world. Or, good Lord. All right, so Gen Z is ditching dating apps for old-fashioned matchmaking. This headline sucks, but it was up here and it sounds like a very New York Post kind of thing to write, so let's give it a 55. All right, let's get moving here. I got to get out of here. Gen Z is ditching dating apps for old-fashioned matchmaking. I think that just means getting drunk, passing out, and getting groped by a guy. I think that's what old-fashioned matchmaking was. In Back to the Future, I think they just tried to pound each other in cars, even when there was no consent at all. So that's what I'm basing on when I say old-fashioned matchmaking. Oh, Tommy G saw two giant turtles going at it. Nice. All right. And again, it's not me who woke up horny, Texas Carter. This is the lifestyle section of the New York Post. They publish this stuff every day. So like there's a couple things where I was like, all right, I'll pull this one out. But this is their lifestyle section. It's incredible. So Matchmaking services are seeing a surge of Gen Z singles signing up for their events after ditching digital dating options. So this sounds a lot like the Fleet Week thing. I think it's probably written in a pretty similar vein here. See, it says there's a bunch of these companies. It's already throwing out names of them, so I'm sure this is a promotional piece here. 35% increase in Gen Z clients post 21 compared to 2021. Yeah. Matchmaking services comes as single swipers have increasingly been complaining of burnout and dating app fatigue. Well, no shit. It's unlimited options. I can barely scroll through Netflix or Disney. Like it's like going to the grocery store or the mall. I have to turn into that kind of like dad shopper almost, where it's like, nope, I'm going in here for one thing and I'm getting my one thing and I'm getting out. Or I have to be in full browsing mode. So I'm sure these cats that have grown up, because I did not have to do the dating app thing. Again, like I just drank with my wife. And I was like, I don't know. We were kids and we started dating at 20, 21, and then just everybody's drinking around then. I don't know. So that's about what it was. I think there was no like, I mean, you go out on dates and stuff like that, but there was no like meetup really. That I think you're just in college. It's just easy to meet, So a study from Forbes Health found that 78% of respondents reported feeling fatigued. Yeah. Again, 79% millennials, highest percentage, Gen Z, Gen X. Yeah. So this is all just a crap ton of statistics. Most burnt out singles claim that ghosting, not making a good connection, being disappointed by people, and feeling rejected were the main reasons why they're over dating apps. Well, no crap. It's the same thing as the sex party. If I've got 1,000 options and I clicked on 800 of them and I heard back from one, do you know what that conversion rate is? That's sub 1%. You're in the 0.1, 0.8% kind of thing there. Like, you're not doing well on conversions. You got to get those numbers up. Like, and that's the thing. When you were just meeting people, like, I don't know, it was just easier to be like, oh, that chick kind of looked at me, like I've got a, yeah, exactly. There we go. So yeah, the people who have done it, I can see Tommy G said he met his current partner on Bumble. Shout out and congrats. Because I know people have for sure. It's not that it's gone away, but I get why people would be over it, because it's like, it's got to be like everything else where you just feel like it's a volume game, or you're being kind of baited into keeping on the app, which I would understand, because these are software services. If you make a connection, then by the nature of their app, they've done their job and they've sold you the cure, which is what pharmacies around the world have been trying not to do for ages. They said, we can't give them the cure. We have to sell them the medicine. So that's what's tricky, is like, I'm glad it works, but I do feel like the apps themselves might be almost making it harder. So I get why people are going away from it. And I have no problem with it. If I was that age, I would have definitely used the apps, because you just get to scroll through 1,000 hotties. Yes. Are you? And these are 1,000 hotties in my area, even with low conversion percentage rates. Swipe. Yes. Let's give it a go. Let's make it happen. And then you just get to try. Have fun. And that would have been at a time when I was not looking for a romantic, like deep personal connection. I think that's the other problem. I think people looking for a deep personal connection probably on different apps, so I don't know. I never had to live in that world. Okay, so now the story of the week, the story of the day, my favorite story of all time. Wheel of Fortune contestant offers wild X-rated guest X-rated guest. I cannot speak today. Wheel of Fortune contestant offers wild X-rated guess, sending audience into hysterics. All right, I've got the article here, but I think we just need to listen to the whole thing. What's my whole thing here? All right. So we have a contestant. I can show you what they're seeing here. Let's get down to their screen so we can see exactly what they're seeing. Boom. All right. Pause that. Why is the video thing not working? Anyway. All right. We'll pause it in a minute then. Oh, it's because there's an X up there. It wouldn't let me pause. You son of a bee. You monster. Okay. So where we're at, so we have a gentleman here. And this is what we're left with here. Blank, 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 blank. Okay, so now let's take a listen to this world-class audio here. That's my favorite thing ever. Let's go.
Tavares, right in the butt.
Yes.
No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was This Is. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not rate this. This headline was really not a very New York Post one, so it's going right down the middle, 50. Yeah. This is the best. Unfortunately, it is not right in the butt. I don't know if he's just seen too many Rite Aid pharmacies out there. I think they do spell it with the R-I-T-E there. But right in the butt.
Tavares.
And there's the
right in
shorty.
butt.
No, I talked over it. I'm bad at this.
Tavares, right in the butt. No.
No. Unfortunately, no, that's not what it is. It's a family show. No, it was This Is the Best. So Tavares will get to live forever in TV history, basically, because he's the right in the butt guy. So if it's your anniversary and your wife asks where you want to go, just play her that clip. You just say, you know what? Right in the butt. That's where I would like to go. Happy anniversary. So, all right. I think that really paid off. I'm not even going to get into the article. The audio is worth more than anything. It started as a 50. It's going to end as a 9,000. So that's going to be a 95 of a story there, even though the New York Post didn't do anything. They just covered the news. So beautiful job. I think they did a great job there covering the news. The headline didn't do anything for me, but man, let's just play it one more time.
Tavares, right in the butt. No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this is the best. Right in the butt. This is the best. Hopefully that's the response you get on your anniversary when your wife asks you where you want to go. You say right in the butt. She says, this is the best. You know, hopefully that's how that conversation plays out for you. All right. Let's keep moving on here. So I am an orgasm expert. Men, here's how to tell if your woman is faking it. All right, first off, I thought this had kind of gone away, the whole faking it thing. This is a very common trope in the 90s that women just fake it all the time. I don't see it quite as represented in media nowadays the way it was a common punchline back then. You know, when Harry Met Sally, Seinfeld all played in that realm, but maybe it's still very prominent. I do not know. So she's the real deal, and she can spot a fake from a mile away. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. A self-described orgasm expert is sharing the signs men should watch out for if they're worried their lady isn't legitimately getting off in the sack. Well, first off, why don't you just talk? That would probably be your first thing that you would want to do there. Say, hey, is there something I'm not doing here? Or is there something I could maybe do better? Or, I don't know, maybe just listen. Maybe you haven't been listening to body cues. I don't know. So the worried part, I think that is your first concern. If you're reaching out to an orgasm expert because you're worried, I think you're already in a pretty bad place. I'm going to be honest with you. You might need to just talk to your partner. All right. So Katie Flowers, that can't be her real name. I mean, I know Flowers is a real last name, but still. Her name is Katie Flowers, and she's an orgasm expert. Come on now. All right. She works as a model and relationship coach, says counterfeit climaxing. Oh, what a great term. Is extremely common among women. Oh, really? This is breaking my heart. I hope this article really this article might be a wake-up call to me, unfortunately. At the core of every meaningful relationship lies a foundation of honesty and vulnerability. Flowers declared fake orgasms not only erode this foundation, but also perpetuate a cycle of misunderstanding and dissatisfaction. All right. A whopping 46% of women claim they regularly fake an orgasm with their fella. Oh, no. Those are some pretty high numbers. I don't know who she polled or who she's polled recently. But she says there are several ways for savvy men to work out when it's the real deal. First, ignore the animated moans or screams. Fine. Flushed cheeks and smiles are much more subtle and genuine indications of an authentic orgasm. So, yeah. So check your lady's cheeks the next time you're getting at it and look for the smile. Look for that sparkle in her smile there. Well, what we say earlier, sparklers spitting out of somebody's mouth, smile sparklers spitting out of the mouth. I can't recall. My memory's gone. I take weird pills. Genuine pleasure is marked by authenticity and spontaneity, she explained. Look for these signs that signal a natural and unscripted experience. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to have all of your playbook written out. You want to have a few go-tos for sure, I'd imagine. You want to have some boundaries in there, safe words, like dishwasher, that kind of thing. Additionally, Flower says eye contact is key. Now, I say no eye contact. Depends on which position you're in, but eye contact can be tricky sometimes. The relationship coach claims a climaxing bed buddy is more likely to give nonverbal cues. I've heard this for sure. Through her eyes than any kind of verbal feedback, which could be false. So right there, this relationship coach claims women be lying. So nonverbal cues, much more important than any verbal feedback, which could be false. She said it herself, all right? This relationship coach said women be lying. All right, finally. Flowers, but yeah, exactly. Let's get another right in the butt. Thank you, Tavares.
Tavares, right in the butt?
Exactly. That's right.
No.
You'll be able to tell. So don't underestimate the power of your intuition. If something feels off, it probably is. Trust your gut instincts towards your genuine moments of pleasure. To guide you towards genuine moments of pleasure. Okay, yeah. Trust your gut. However, if a fella feels his female is phoning it in, this is good advice. It's important for him not to be disheartened. She might just be a bitch. No, I added that part. But no, it is important for him not to be disheartened. This relationship coach says addressing the issue could lead to increased communication. So yes, address the issue and communicate about it. Honestly, communicating about it is sometimes pretty hot in and of itself. So true intimacy is about connection, not performance. I mean, you want to be able to perform. Yeah, connect for sure. You want to get in there, make that hard, firm connection. But you also want to be able to perform for sure. And it says here, knowledge is power. So she likes power. She already said that. Power. And understanding the complexities of human sexuality like Tavares does here.
Tavares, right in the butt?
That's right.
No.
Yep. Understanding those complexities can help you navigate intimate encounters with confidence, total confidence, just like Tavares there. All right. Orgasm expert. Again, I forgot to rate the damn headline. I'm terrible at my own game. Either way, I thought that was a pretty decent article. I would have given the headline an 85. I think I'm going to give the actual article an 80. I think it's pretty solid. All right. Down to our final two here. We're going to cook. Italian Beach Town wants you to get married there naked. That's the headline I love, because I bet this article is going to suck. Most of these headlines where it says this town wants you to do something naked, it's probably advertising for some piece of crap like tourist company or some. They probably pay for some sponsored thing, or somebody went out and visited this thing and now they get to talk about it. And if you get married there naked, I'm sure it's so that they can post about it or so that they can benefit somehow. So that's usually what these articles are. Regardless, headline, amazing. 92 level headline. All right. This Italian beach town wants you to get married there naked. What Italian beach town is it? Oh, gosh. Something borrowed, something nude. Isn't that just a wonderful, cheeky little writing thing they did there at the top? Okay. So instead of something borrowed, something blue, they swapped it out with nude there because it kind of rhymes. It's an imperfect rhyme. Doesn't even rhyme. But for songwriting purposes, it would work. It's fine. Nudist couples. So right away, it's already going after nudist couples. What you want to do is try to convince people who wouldn't normally go nude. You can't. This is a whole nudist article, which there's tons of these. There's always nude cruise and nude whatever. All right. Nudist couples hoping to celebrate their nuptials all natural have an open invitation from officials in at least one beautiful Italian coastal destination. Isbinas Beach. Ibinas. I don't know how to pronounce Italian IS. It says Isbinas. I don't know how to pronounce that in Italian. Ibina Beach, located halfway up Sardinia's west coast, is already famous for its tan line-free tanning opportunities. Okay, so I guess that means you can go nude beaches there. Soon, it will also allow nude weddings. Okay. Local authorities decided to make the move after a German couple. They're pretty freaks, or they're pretty freaky. They're certainly not as puritanical as we are here. The Germans, I've always known, they get freaky in the sex game. They wrote a letter to the leaders of San Vero Mili, the closest town, and asked to be married on the beach without any clothes. A seemingly decent request. I don't see anything wrong with it unless, things take a turn and it gets over to Tavares territory.
Tavares, right in the butt. No.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You can do it right in the butt. And so they asked to be married on the beach without any clothes. And apparently, yeah, like I said, you can already go nude there. It's been going on since 2015. It's been a nude beach. It's a clothing optional beach since 2015, but now they've announced to start planning weddings. Okay. And now here's this stuff. Nudity has nothing to do with sex. For naturists, it's a philosophy of life and is linked to nature. I mean, I guess. Why do we have to see it? That's all I'm saying. I don't doubt that it has nothing to do with sex, but your sexual organs are in full display. Your sausage, your salami, your giant hog or your small hog might be out there for me to see. So even though you're a nudist, you're getting married, and I have to see you pull the ring out of where? Where is the ring being held? Is your best man nude also? I hope he's holding it in his hands, or I hope you have some kind of fanny pack. Does a fanny pack make you not nude? Can you accessorize with nudity? Like the earrings and belts? Like if you just wear a belt? Huh. Yeah, like tool belt. Are you still nude in just a tool belt or a fanny pack? Because you'd have to carry your wallet and your keys somehow. You can't just I guess a purse. They all carry purses or backpacks or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Where do you store the wedding ring? I think you store it where Tavares told you to store it.
Tavares, right in the butt.
Yeah.
No.
So when they asked for the rings, you just do what Tavares said and said, hey, just take it right out of your butt there and you'll be all good. So, all right, they're just hoping people don't protest. Okay, great. I don't think anybody's going to protest here. So, okay, yeah. Basically, they've granted nude weddings in this particular Italian beach. So this article came out about how I thought it would. Essentially, hey, there's an Italian beach that exists, and that's the reporting. But they're not always letting people get married nude. So that's why it's news. So I just want some decent reporting sometimes too. But I'll give that an 84. It was fine. Wasn't a great story. Actually, I take that back. That was like a 68. That wasn't that good. All right. This is what happens to your body when you stop having sex. This is a home run headline. This is a tease. This is the most clickbait headline ever. And it's perfect because it's all fear. It's like, hey, guess what? If you went to an 800-person sex party earlier and you got turned down, guess what? Your life might be over, man. So let's see what happens here. Oy. Actually, yeah. Let's listen to Tavares one more time real quick, just so I can take a drink.
Tavares, right in the butt. No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
That's right. This is the best. That's it. All right. For a sexually active person, so we are now on this is what happens to your body when you stop having sex. So, hey, you've been hooking up. Now you got to stop. Bummer. For a sexually active person, going through a, quote, dry spell can feel like a massive change for the body and mind. Some may feel irritable and antsy, while others will just feel overwhelmingly turned on with no feasible way to relieve it. I mean, yeah, I agree. There's no feasible way to relieve it. If you're in a dry spell, no feasible way. We've got some activities that could be done in the self-love realm that might relieve it. There are also industries that I think are currently illegal in Texas, but I think are legal in places like Las Vegas, or maybe just on the outskirts of Las Vegas, or maybe you could go have your needs fulfilled. So I think there is a feasible way to relieve it if you really needed to in some markets. Okay. However, some people may not feel any different at all, neither missing the sex they were having nor pining for more. All right, so you're just empty. You're just empty inside and you feel nothing. You're a nihilist. But at what point does a dry spell actually start to change your biology? And does not having sex have a tangible impact on how we feel? Okay. So again, we're talking to another sex and relationship expert for Womanizer. That's the magazine she's a part of, or a website. So, how does the body change when you stop having sex? As much as your body might feel like it's undergone a big change, apparently the science says it has not. There are recognized physical, emotional, and psychological benefits to engaging in solo or partnered sexual activity, including outer course. Okay. And this does not mean that there are negative consequences associated with not being sexually active. Okay. However, we may experience what experts call deconditioning, which essentially means becoming less primed. Okay. Yeah. So you want to really prime that pump. If you're going to be really doing some hard pumping, you want to do Pilates. You want to really prime that thing up. So in the same way, we might experience a reduced confidence, muscle tightness, and overall deconditioning from not exercising. People who haven't hooked up or who stop hooking up for long periods may experience deconditioning to sexual activities and find they have muscle tightness or soreness, difficulties in explosion control. I'm going to say that. That's my nice FCC approved, even though I'm not on the FCC. Explosion control, difficulties controlling your explosion, and a loss of confidence. So, yeah, if you don't hook up for a year, you might be less confident. You don't hook up for a year, the first time somebody even looks at you, it may be, Old Faithful rushing out of Yellowstone there or whatever. Just a geyser of good times. So the benefits of sex, yeah. So I think we already went over this. Is that it makes you feel better. Yeah, happy, feel good chemicals. Okay, how to reap the benefits of sex without actually having any. All right, sounds good. When it comes to feel good hormones, we can promote the production of these chemicals through lots of other activities, such as dancing, massage, singing, laughing. Okay. I've done a lot of good singing and laughing in my life. Doesn't really compare to hooking up. So I don't know that that's the same benefits. I appreciate that, Leonard Slowcrow, about the guys are there. And yes, pumpers do have to pump. You can also generate these hormones, through other non-sexual connections, which include hugging, holding hands, and having meaningful conversations. Well, who the hell wants to do that? I want to have meaningful conversations. I wouldn't be reading this crap. Good Lord. Tavares, tell me what I want. Tell me where I want it.
Right in the butt?
That's right.
No.
Thank you, Tavares. So apparently it's a pleasure, not a necessity. So apparently while having less hookup time may feel like a physical and mental adjustment, there is no proof that it's bad for you. So this article just told me to go talk to people and hook up less, and it's not going to do anything to me? This article is a zero. This article is an absolute piece of steaming garbage. All right, let's rate the week. Just play the audio again. Wheel of Fortune's going to win for the next year, probably, even though that headline sucks. That was the best piece of audio I've heard all year. Okay, and then I'm an orgasm expert. Men, here's how to tell if your woman is faking it. Pretty solid article overall. You got to say a lot of weird stuff, and it didn't tell you much you didn't know already. I think it was well written enough. And then the orgy lady at 49, the orgy who loves corgis and went to the party and kept her clothes on and just watched a bunch of people hook up. I think that one got number 3 there. So those are your top 3. Naked Beach Town comes in at number 4, and then Fleet Week cops hooking up with people is number 5. So let's take you out with Tavares here all the way through. But I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Go, Tavares.
Right in the butt? No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Also, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're probably going to watch over at noon, but go check out youtube.com/@KTFunTweets. I believe he is doing 7 Kevins here in about 30 minutes. So go get yourself some lunch, go hang out, and I will see you cats next time. Thanks a bunch. And remember, if you didn't come for me, you came for the P, and I hope you had a great time. Have a good one.